Hi guys! Today we're going to be filming a palette collection video. I have a lot of palettes and I want to film them for you guys. I did just place one with ColourPop and those are not included because I have yet to receive that order. But I want to film this because I need inspiration. I want to know what palettes you guys want to see, what palettes you want to know, are they worth it, what palettes you want to see looks with. So let's get started. Okay, so we're gonna start from the front and go to the back. Let me just grab, I have a few more up here, so let me just grab them that I'm trying to use, and we'll start with these. Okay, I have eyeshadow palettes and face palettes. We're gonna start with face palettes first. I have this random little thing, but in here I have my Physicians Formula highlighters. And then I have just two single highlighters. These actually were Makeup Revolution highlighters that broke and I pressed them into pans. And I just have those because I want to use them. And then I have this empty little Z palette with a Physicians Formula bronzer. It came in a little collection with that bronzer, the Physicians Formula blush, and two highlighters. And I didn't like the packaging, so I put the highlighters in one and the blush and bronzers in another. So this is a bronzer. And this is a Physicians Formula blush. This is a Lottie London, the Blush Crush and Zane. These are two Flower Beauty cream blushes. This is an Ofra blush. I think that's another Ofra blush. And these are just some random single blushes that I have. And that's that. And then we have a Pure Cosmetics Bronze and Brightener, Blush, Bronzer, and Highlighter. If you guys can get your hands on this, it is all shimmer. But this highlight shade, oh my gosh, it is stunning. And this looks really dark. I'm very light skinned if you can't tell, but this blends out so nicely. Like, I love using that, and the blush is really nice as well. And then I have, of course, the classic Anastasia Beverly Hills Cream Contour in Fair. And then I have a Tarte Park Ave Princess Contour Set. I don't use this very much. When I do, the only shade I use is Princess Cut. I don't ever use shades like this. I don't know why. And these ones are all too dark. But this palette smells really nicely. It smells like vanilla. And the Princess Cut shade is really beautiful. And that is all I have for face products, or face palettes. I don't keep highlighter palettes. Those are just like contour or like duo palettes. The next one I have is this Smashbox Cover Shot one in bold glitter. The packaging on this is stunning. I got this in Ipsy Glam Bag Plus. Oh, I cannot get this thing open. Come on, I'm having trouble. I don't really like these, I'm gonna be honest. These shades, you can see me. These shades don't pick up glitter very well. They pick up pigment, but when you try to apply them to your eyes, the glitter flakes off, goes everywhere. I want to try to use this more just to try to figure out a good way to use it. But I have that. And then I have my Maybelline Soda Pop palette. Love this palette. A good drugstore palette. I have the Ace Beauté Grandiose palette. Comes in a little sleeve like this. We got this in a BoxyCharm. Really, really pretty. Highly recommend. And then I have a Academy of Color High Voltage eyeshadow palette. This palette is gorgeous. I really love this palette. It's really cheap too. I think I got this on sale at Kohl's. It was like $10 or something like that. And the packaging's really pretty. And then I have a Pure, this is actually a Midnight Masquerade face and eye palette. We got this in a BoxyCharm recently. If I can open it. This side's face and this side's eyes. I don't use these hardly ever because I can't get a cohesive look out of the eyeshadows. And then the face shades, like these two, this blush and highlight, are too dark for me. And I just don't never reach for those ones. I don't know why. And then I have, of course, my Urban Decay X Kristen Leanne. Love, love, love this palette. Highly recommend. They don't make this palette anymore, but if you see it somewhere and can get your hands on it, do it. These shades are absolutely stunning. And I keep this one mainly for collecting. I have a lot of limited edition YouTuber collabs that I will be keeping no matter what. Like, you will see these in my collection for a very, very, very long time. Next little bunch I have is my Juvia's Place Afrique palette. Their packaging, like, they get an A+ for packaging. Their packaging is absolutely stunning. Their shades are, like, the eyeshadows are gorgeous. I only have one palette. I did have another one that I didn't really use as much just because it wasn't really my cup of tea. You'll notice here I like more fun colors, but I highly recommend Juvia's Place. And they're really affordable. And then I have the Elmar Cosmetics, the Reina del Caribe Volume 1. They have a Volume 2 I really want to get. These shades are gorgeous. Like, look at this. Sorry, my hand's a little shaky. I'm holding this. But these shades are stunning. And even the mattes are really pretty too. Like, highly, highly recommend. We got this in a BoxyCharm over the summer as well. Love that palette. And another collaboration they don't make anymore. This is the Graveyard Girl Swamp Queen. This was the first ever high-end palette I got. Ooh, let me readjust. I hit pan on the Gator Wing shade. And Sassy Bun was my favorite gold shade. I've been watching like Graveyard Girls. The reason I started watching YouTube. I love her. I've watched her for a very, very long time. And bought this palette when it first came out. And it was the first ever high-end palette I had. A lot of sentimental reasons for keeping that. The next little stack I have is the Dose of Colors Katie, what is this? The Desi X Katie Friendication palette. The packaging is stunning. And if you open it up, the shades in here are gorgeous. This palette, the mattes are so nice and buttery. And those blue shades at the end, oh my gosh. And that shade right here, Dirty Money, one of my favorite. Highly recommend this palette. This one we got in a BoxyCharm. Nightingale Pretty Vulgar eyeshadow palette. I don't use. The setup of it is okay, not my favorite. I use this palette on other people mainly when I need to do like a dark smoky eye for them. This is the palette I go to. I use this on my cousin for one of her school dances. I like this palette for that reason, but I don't use it on myself. Another palette that I keep for sentimental reasons. This, I love NikkieTutorials, and I bought this when it first came out. And for me, that was a big deal, because I think this little collection is like $60. That was a lot of money for me. I only worked a summer job, and I think this came out around like March or something. I don't know. I think I bought this for my birthday. This is gross. I've used this when I first got it forever. I used Mystic Hour and Wham Bam and Wanted and Sugar Coated and Champagne Truffle. We all know the highlight in this was not good. We know there was a lot of controversy behind this palette between Too Faced and NikkieTutorials, but I keep this for sentimental reasons. Like I said, this was the second palette I ever bought myself, and I loved NikkieTutorials and was so proud of myself for buying this. And the purple mascara it came with, I wore it every day. A lot of sentimental reasons for keeping that one. The next one, this packaging gets me every time. This is the Lunar Beauty Life's a Drag palette. This is Manny MUA's brand. This is his eyeshadow palette. I don't reach for this. I've used this a few times. Not my go-to palette. Packaging is A+, but I just don't reach for it. Formula's nice. Everything's great. Just doesn't catch my eye. There's only 2 shimmers. I don't know. Not my favorite palette ever. And then next we're going to be getting into brands. Let me do my single. Let me just show you. I have this Adept Cosmetics single little like Z palette type thing. I got this on Amazon. I will link it down below. It's like a velvet, but it's got this huge mirror right here. And, one fell out. Spot for all my single shadows. So there's a lot of like just random. Like, that's a ColourPop one. That's Winky Lux. I don't know what that one is. I honestly think that's blush supposed to be or something like that, or highlight from Ofra, I think. I don't know. Douce, the Balm, Douce again. I think it's a mini Urban Decay. There's another Urban Decay over here. A bunch of those depotted. This one I think has a name on the back. Nope. One of these blues has a name on the back right here. This is a Tiny Tangerines pressed powder from ColourPop. There's quite a few ColourPop in here. Just a mismatch of random eyeshadows. Like this, I know for a fact is a Winky Lux one. It doesn't have a name on the back. This is the Cowboy one from Midnight Cowboy from Urban Decay. This, okay, the square one right up here that I hit pan on, this is a Wet n Wild single in Creme Brulee. If you guys don't have this, you need it in your life. It's just a stark matte white. I use that almost every day to set my eyeshadow primer. Highly recommend. And like I said, just some randoms, but I love this because it's got like a casing to cover in, and it's huge, and it doesn't take up a lot of space. It's really nice. And then I have two BH Cosmetics palettes. Let me get this thing out of the way. I have the Foil Eyes 28 Colors palette. Don't reach for this. It's an all shimmer palette. Not my favorite. I don't know why I bought it. I seen the bright colors and I was like, ooh, fun, nice. I love colors, but it's all shimmer. I didn't read far enough to see that. I'm hoping I can use this a little more, but probably not. This palette. If you guys see this palette, highly recommend it. It's like 10 bucks. Or order it online. It's BH Cosmetics, the Glam Reflection Gilded palette. These shades are absolutely stunning. You get a really thick, like, mirror. I don't know if you'll be able to see how thick that is. It's really good, heavy duty. These shades are so buttery and soft and blend so nicely. Highly recommend, and I like the packaging. It's really pretty. The next brand I have is, oh, and these ones are gonna fall. Okay. Huda Beauty. I have the Huda Beauty New Nude palette. I like this one. The only two shades I don't like are the glitters. I can't figure out how to use them, but they're really pretty. I like the concealer shade in here. I do use that to either prime my lids or carve my crease, and I did accidentally nick that shade. That's a little sad, but I love this palette, the shimmers especially. One of my favorite everyday palettes. And then I have all 5 of the Gemstone collections. So I have my favorite, which is the Topaz one. Highly recommend this one if you're going to get any of them. This is my favorite everyday neutral palette. I use this quite a bit during fall time. It's perfect for that. And then my next favorite is the Ruby Obsessions, the red shades in here. Absolutely stunning. And then I like the Emerald Obsessions. My favorite shade in this one is that middle shade. It is absolutely gorgeous. And then the Sapphire Obsessions. Oh, if I can get it open one-handed. Again, that middle shade, that shade, that shade, and that shade. Absolutely stunning. And then this one I don't reach for as much, but it's really, really pretty. I've used it a couple times, but purples are just not my colors. But those shadows are gorgeous. Okay, and then the next brand I have is NYX. This is the NYX Sugar Trip Squad eyeshadow palette. Ulta had this on sale for 11 bucks, so I bought it. Highly recommend it. If they still have this on sale, you need to pick it up. If you want to try bright, fun colors, this palette is where it's at. The pigment is amazing, and it's really nice and really fun. I used that shade, that shade, that shade, that shade for a look, and it was really pretty. And the packaging is gorgeous. And then 2 NYX eyeshadow palettes I don't like. These were $30 a piece. That is insane for NYX. NYX is supposed to be a drugstore brand, and I feel like they just keep raising their prices. These palettes are not worth it at all. The only shades I actually used were that one, and that one. Other than that, these palettes never got any use. They don't blend very nicely, and they are definitely not worth $30. I do not recommend those at all. And the next two palettes I have are from ColourPop. Like I said, I did just place an order, and in the order, I think I have like 12 or 13 palettes from ColourPop coming. I know, ridiculous. I know, but I bought other stuff, and I do want to give ColourPop a little trial, few more ColourPop palettes. Like this one I got in an BoxyCharm subscription, and this one came in an Ipsy, what was it, like an Ipsy steel bag or something like that. This palette I love. This is what made me want to buy more from ColourPop. These shades blend really nicely, and they're absolutely stunning, and I use this palette quite a lot. This is the All I See Is Magic palette. This one is the ColourPop My Little Pony palette. I don't use this one very much. This shade and this shade, when I was using my Blood Sugar palette, I had this sitting above it and opened the lid to the Blood Sugar, and the latches dug into it. But these shades are pretty. I just don't feel like I can get a cohesive look out of these. You can see all the shades on the back. I like them, but not terribly much. And then I have some Makeup Revolution eyeshadow palettes. I have 3 of them. My favorite is the Reloaded Iconic Neutrals 2. This one has gotten the most love, if you can't tell. This was the first one I bought. These palettes are $7, and they are amazing. Like, let me just swatch this shade right here. And this shade. Highly recommend. And the mattes even, gorgeous. Let's get this one. Those are so pretty, and they blend amazing. And they're only $7. You can find Makeup Revolution at Ulta. And then I got this one because I love that other one so much. This is the Reloaded Neutrals 3. It's got some of the pinky tones, but it's got a lot of neutral tones too. And those gold shimmers in here looked gorgeous. I haven't played with this one yet. I just recently got it, and I'm excited to try that one. This one I used today. This is the Reloaded Passion for Color. I used, if I can open it, you'll see in my Get Ready With Me. If it's up before this video, I'll link it down below. I used this green shade, and the other ones I've only swatched, but I used that green shade on my lid, and I love that shade. I'm really excited to play with all the other colors, because that green shade performs so nicely. And the next palettes I have, I know, don't come for me. I have 3 of them. I got this one in BoxyCharm. This is Laura Lee Party Animal palette. I don't support Laura Lee, and I don't support what she does, but I did get these palettes. This one, I used the Hungover shade. It is nice, I will admit. I do like it. It's nice. I've used the Hungover shade, and I've used that one, and that one, and that one. I used pretty much all of these shades. I do like them. They're fun, they're nice, and it's a nice little palette compared to all my big ones. And then I have her Cat's Pajamas palette. Okay. I bought this one and Nudie Patootie from, I'm in a makeup group on Facebook, and someone was selling them. I bought them for really, really cheap. I've never used this palette. I will admit, this palette does not inspire me at all. It's just like every other palette I have. I don't know why I bought it. It doesn't inspire me, but I'm trying. I'm trying to use it more. And then this one, I love. My Nudie Patootie palette, I love. But when I got it, this shade, and this shade were all broken. I use this palette all of the time. It is amazing. Highly recommend. I just don't like the packaging, because if you look, like, it's just really long. And then I have Violet Voss. I have 3 from Violet Voss. This is another collection item. The Violet Voss Laura Lee palette. This came out forever and a half ago. Like, I don't even know if it says on it or anything. This says 2016. That was 3 years ago. I bought this when it first came out. It was a very nice palette. I got this for my birthday when it first came out, I think. I think I got it at the relaunch or whatever. My husband bought me this. It's very sentimental to me, and I will be keeping it no matter what. It was a nice palette when it came out. And then we just recently got the Violet Voss Holy Grail eyeshadow palette in BoxyLuxe. I've used this a couple times. I really do like it. Violet Voss's formula is really, really nice, but they are very pricey. And then I got a Flamingo, the Flamingo palette. I got this a month or so ago, so I did get it a little out of season, but I haven't played with it too much because, like I said, I did get it out of season. This is a very summery, bright, fun palette. I'm very excited to use this summer. The shades are gorgeous. Like I said, Violet Voss, their eyeshadows perform amazing. And then I have 3 palettes from ABH. I have the Soft Glam palette. I really like this palette. When I got it, Sultry was broken and Fairy, as you can still see, kind of broken. I use this palette quite a bit. It's very nice. ABH's formula is really powdery, but they perform really nicely. And then I have the Modern Renaissance. I love this palette. This is a go-to everyday palette. If you want to try an Anastasia Beverly Hills palette, I highly recommend this one or the Sultry palette. Those two are my absolute favorite. This is a good everyday palette, but if you want to go out of your comfort zone, this packaging for one, but if you want to go out of your comfort zone and do like vampy, kind of smoky eyes, oh my gosh. I did a New Year's Eve get ready with me using the Cyborg, like with mainly the Cyborg shade in this palette. I'll link it down below. This palette is amazing. Highly, highly recommend. And then, probably the brand I have the most from, Morphe. We will start here. This is the Morphe Jaclyn Hill from the Vault collection. This is Ardent and Gorgeous. This palette has gotten a lot of love. I guess I got a good batch because this palette blends amazing. And this is my favorite yellow, like warm toned yellow orange palette. I love this palette for fall especially. I use this quite a bit during the fall. But one that I didn't use and doesn't inspire me, and I have yet to even use, I've swatched but haven't actually played with. This is this is Dark Magic. Like I said, I don't know. This palette is, I don't know what to do with it. I really, really don't. Nothing comes to mind when I look at this palette. I try, I really do. And the next one I have is Hey Girl Hey, the 25C palette. Okay. This one I don't know why I bought. I've used this like twice, and that's it. This is like every other palette I have. Like if I were to pull out, let me just grab my Modern Renaissance since it's right here on top. Look at that. If I covered this one up, look at that. Why did I do it? Why did I buy this palette? I don't know. I don't use it. It's a good palette. Morphe palettes are really nice, and they're really affordable. I just don't give it enough love, and my palettes are falling nicely. Okay, this one is the 35O. This was my first ever Morphe palette. I'm going to open this, and you guys are going to see how beat up and loved this palette actually is. Like, look at this. I've hit pan on this shade, this shade, this shade, that shade, like this palette, this one, really loved. This palette needs to be replaced. This is their old packaging, and I'm thinking about doing a project pan where you try to hit pan on all the shades in a palette and like hit pan on a highlighter and a blush and use up all of it. If you guys are interested in that, let me know, because if I did do it, this palette would be included because this palette needs to be put out of its misery. Please let me know. This palette needs help, guys. And then I have the 3502, which is the revamped version of the 35O. It's coming back from the grave. Help. This palette is gorgeous. But if you want to see it in comparison to the 35O, let's put that on top. This one is a lot brighter and more fun. That one's a lot more neutral, and it's got a lot more darker browns in it. This has got a lot more warm tone browns. They're both really nice palettes, but I love my 35O more. Excuse you. Okay. And then we have a palette I don't know why I bought. Again, you heard me say when we got to the Huda palettes, I don't use purple eyeshadows. So please tell me why I bought the 35P and bought a palette. I don't know if I can open it. Okay, come on. You're really ruining the joke here. Ouch. I just bent my nail. Come on. I can't. Oh my god, I keep dropping. This palette's gonna be broke by the time I get into it. There we go. Why did I buy a palette? That was all. purples. Someone please tell me, please. If you can get into my mind and tell me why I bought this palette, please do. It's all purples. I specifically said I don't use purple eyeshadow. So what in my right mind made me buy a palette that was all purple eyeshadow? I don't know. Someone save me. I have a problem. And then we have the Jaclyn Hill palette. This palette is dirty. It is gross. You can see it. This palette does not wipe clean, and that really bugs me. This palette is very well loved. Let me just flip it around so you can see. I love this palette. I bought it when it first came out, and I highly recommend this. Everybody and their mother has heard of this palette or has seen it or have it for good reason. This palette is as amazing as everyone says. And then I have this. I don't know why I bought this. This is the 24 Grand Glam palette. The shades are huge. Like those pan sizes, I will never go through those. And I've used this twice, I'm sure. Don't know why I bought it. The shades, again, are like everything else I have. Some pinks, some browns, some shimmers. Someone please save me. And then we have this baby. The Morphe X James Charles Artistry palette. I taped the shade names up here so I wouldn't forget them. This palette is amazing. It goes out, they just had a relaunch like yesterday and it sold out in 15 minutes. If you can get your hands on this palette and you want to, like you're just starting out or you want a palette you want to just play with color and you've never played with anything before, this is where to start. This palette is really affordable. It is absolutely amazing. And the last little thing of palettes I have are my Jeffree Star. I love Jeffree Star, anything. I have highlighters of his, I have lipsticks, and I have palettes. I have it all, and I will be getting everything that he comes out with. Jeffree Star is my favorite. His formula for eyeshadows, like, he knows where it's at. He knows how to make them. I have his first ever one, the Beauty Killer palette. Love this palette. And then I have the infamous Androgyny palette. The packaging on this is gorgeous. It is dinged up like none other. Like all the edges have dings. This palette is put through the ringer. Like you can see how loved this palette is. Like Frosting, Safe Word, the Military, Poison, and Swallow shades. They are all well loved. Highly recommend any of his palettes. And then you have the Blood Sugar. That is still out of stock every time it comes out. If you can get your hands on this palette, highly recommend. I keep it in the Unicarton because the Unicarton is stunning. Let me open it up. This palette is where it's at. He just announced he's releasing in February a Blood Sugar Part 2. So excited for that, and I will be getting that when it comes out. I cannot wait. These shades blend amazing. Like, these are my favorite red tone shades if I go for a red look. Love, love, love. And then you have, it's upside down, the Thirsty palette. I love the packaging on this, how it has like the water droplets. This was his summer release, and these shades are stunning. You can tell I've used Quench, and I've used Snatched. I love the shimmers in here. I don't know what he did. He said it was a different formula than he's ever made, but those shimmers are some of the best like glitter shades I've ever used. Like, let me just swatch Snatched for you. Oh my gosh. And let's swatch Divine. Like, those are stunning. Filthy Witch. Like, if you can get your hands on this palette and you need it. Everyone needs it. Just for those shimmer shades, let alone the mattes in here. Like, look at that. That is stunning. That palette is highly, highly recommend. And then you have his newest release. His Alien palette. I love the 3D eyes. I love the packaging. I love how it's got the big teardrop mirror. And the shades. My favorite shade has to be Alien or Interstellar. And I really love Abduction and Flying Saucer and Take Me Home. And Probe. These shades are stunning. Like I said before, Jeffree Star knows how to make them. And that's it. So I'm going to conclude the video here. If you guys like, this and you want to see more of my collection, please let me know. This is the aftermath of what I get to clean up. Someone please save me. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. Please let me know what you want to see down below, what palettes you want to see in future videos. If you want to see a Project Pan where I try to use up my well-loved Morphe 35O palette. This, please put him out of his misery. Please, someone help. Help this. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.